Babe Laufenberg, fantastic on the D&M Leasing Hotline. Would you like to start with the Texans or the Sun or the Moon?
Either, anywhere you want to go.
Let's go Sun. What do you make of this whole Sun deal?
Well, it's interesting because how many games have been played there? How many plays in those games? And then start multiplying. And there's been about 4 or 5 plays that have been affected, but don't they all seem huge?
Yeah.
That play Sunday. Now you may say, hey, it's one play. We had a lot of other plays, but I mean, it's probably going to be a touchdown.
Yeah.
Cowboys take the lead.
Yep.
Does it change Cooper Rush's confidence? Does it change the crowd and the way they're reacting? Now you got a lead on Philly. I mean, a lot could change, but and then interestingly enough, the next play on third down, they handed off to Rico Dowdle.
Yeah.
Inside on 4th and 3 or 3rd and 3, I guess. And, I mean, did that affect that play call to say, I don't want to take a chance on our guys not being able to see the football? But
right.
The funny thing about it is, and there's, it's a lot of plays. Did that cost them a game? Hey, they've been behind by 20 points in their last 5 games at home at some point in the game. That's an NFL record, by the way. So the notion that one play is during the season, no. But here's the funny thing. You can't go back and re-sign Derrick Henry, right? We can't. That's not going to happen. So
right.
You can lament all you want. Oh, we could have had this guy. You would please everyone, if you just said, you know what, we're going to start putting curtains up. Nobody would say, oh, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Now they would say, why is it happening so late? But it'd be universally applauded. So why not just say, yeah, we're going to put up the curtains? But, what are you going to do?
Has C.J. Stroud taken that next step in year 2?
Well, I don't want to say he's regressed. His numbers aren't as good in year 2 as they were in year 1. And the problem is, much like Dak was dealing with until he got hurt and what Cooper Rush is going to deal with Monday night, and he did last Sunday, he's lost his 2 best playmakers. They've been playing without Nico Collins and Stephon Diggs over the last 4 weeks. And obviously Diggs is not coming back. It looks like Collins should make it back this week. But when you take away those dynamic playmakers, you're just not going to be as good at that position. And I think that's what's happened to C.J. Stroud. I really like him. I liked him coming out in the draft. As a matter of fact, Josh McCown was the quarterback coach at Carolina, and I texted him and said, and we've had a little relationship, and I said, boy, I know everybody's giving you input, but just looking at it, C.J. Stroud seems to be the guy. Obviously, they drafted Bryce Young, so it tells you how much weight my opinion carries. But I don't know that Josh McCown was the decider in that one either. But he's very, very good. It's funny when you look at what he did last year. The name that he keeps getting compared to, at least statistically, you look at the record book, and it's Dak Prescott in his rookie year. Dak literally had the best rookie year of any quarterback ever. He's got the highest passer rating for a rookie. I think Stroud is 3rd. Dak, you forget, Dak had 23 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. And I always say you kind of announce yourself early. It seems like the really great ones, they announce themselves early. I remember DeMarcus Ware, Seattle preseason game, his first game. He's got 2 sacks, a strip sack fumble, an interception, and that was in about a half a game. And you're like, okay, this guy could be pretty good. And C.J. Stroud went almost 200 passes to start his career without throwing an interception. And that doesn't happen by accident. So he's a handful, but again, he hasn't had his weapons, and that's why they're 1-3 over the last 4 games.
Babe Laufenberg joining us here on 105 through the Fan. Babe, when you look at this Texans offense in the second half of games, we were noting earlier this week, it's been 4 straight games without a touchdown in the second half. They've actually been 1-3 in these games. They've led at halftime of all these last 4 games. What's going on with them in the second half of football games? Are you seeing defenses adjusting to them in the second half? What's been the issue?
Honestly, I have not dug in. I will today. I looked at some of their stuff. I have a little routine of getting through the Cowboys early in the week, and then later in the week I start turning the attention to the other team. But I have looked at the numbers and watched the game, against Detroit Monday night.
Sunday night.
No, Sunday night.
Yeah.
Sunday night. Yeah, I get them all confused. Man, you watch so much football, don't you?
I do.
I don't know what I'm watching when, what channel, who's doing the game, who's the announcer. But the the numbers are startling. They really are. First half to the second half, they're one of the best teams point differential in the first half, and I think they're dead last point differential in the second half. So I don't know what happens to them necessarily that you can pinpoint. And I always say there's a lot of coaches in that building over there trying to figure out what's wrong. So for me to put on one game tape and say, oh, here's what's wrong with Houston would be a little presumptuous, but there's no question. If you can get them to the second half, the odds are in your favor. I mean, if you can get them to the second half and you're leading or close, the odds are now in your favor because they have not been a good second half team.
Babe Laufenberg here on the Fan, Cowboys color analyst. After the offensive performance from Cooper Rush, Mike McCarthy that you saw Sunday, would you go to Trey Lance and just use his legs as much as possible, or are you buying, as Jerry told us, there could have been a neck strain issue with Rush because that was putrid.
Oh yeah, it was bad. It was a bad performance, no question. And I thought the the offensive scheme, we're going to just throw it into the flat about 10 times, and
by the way, is that an indictment of the O-line, Babe? Is that the only explanation? Like, we don't trust for a 5-step, 7-step drop back?
Well, really, the protection was relatively good. It was not a jailbreak. Jalen Hurts got sacked 5 times in the first half, right?
Yeah.
So, it was not a jailbreak. And at some point, you got to kind of count on protection. Yeah. I mean, you can't just throw 3-yard flat routes all day. The one that was really upsetting, I think it was 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 9.
Yes.
And they run a 4-yard hook to Tolbert on the right side. Now, it's one thing if you run a slant and you're hoping to get the guy on the run, or even a flat, you're running a pick play, you get the ball to the guy on the move, and the idea is we're going to turn it up and make the first down. But, when you're working a hook route like that, you're working back to the quarterback. So, for the most part, wherever you catch it is going to be where you're tackled. And that was the one play that sort of stuck out in my mind, other than the Sun play to CD of the end zone. But, they got to figure out something different than what they did. They'll have a little familiarity. Houston, because of DeMeco Ryans being the head coach, and he was a defensive coordinator for San Francisco, a lot of carryover. You put this tape on of Houston, and you strip the jerseys off them, you might as well be looking at San Francisco. The only difference, they don't have our man Fred Warner in the middle.
Fantastic. Excellent stuff. Thank you so much, and have a great call. We'll be listening.
Okay, thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Have a great day.